Welcome back to ERD Stitches. Welcome back to tutorial. So today we are going to learn how to cut and sew this particular lunch bag you are seeing here. So I'm going to put you through on the cutting and sewing of this lunch bag. So make sure you watch to the end. So without taking your time, let's get started. Okay guys, this is the leather I'm using for this video, and this is my lining, this is my foam. So now I'm keeping these ones aside. I want to give you the measurement of my leather. This is the side. I'm using 7 inches by 10 1/4 inches. You can see 10 1/4 inches, and I have 2 pieces cut out for the side. So now I've shaped it. I want to tell you how I shaped it. I marked 2 inches at this point, 2 inches. Then at this point I marked 3 inches. You can see 3 inches. So what I did, I connected the 2 points together. This is what I did. So now I'm going to cut it off. So after cutting it off, I'll flip it over, arrange it very well. Then I'm going to use it to shape this side. So you hold it very, make sure it's equal, then you cut it off. So this is what I have now. So for the down part here, what I use to shape the down part is 1 inch by 1 inch. I also connected it with a curve line. This way I just curve it together. Then I'll cut it off. After cutting it out this way, I'm going to flip it over to shape this side. So this is what I have. I'm going to use this now to shape this second side. So after shaping it, this is what I have. Now I'm going to sew my strap. This is the long strap. The long strap I'm using 50 inches, so I will sew it round. The short strap also, you put your adjuster and sew it. Make sure that the allowance you have on both sides is equal, then I will sew it round. So after sewing it round, this is what I have. So I'm going to now put it on my lining. This is my lining. Then I'll put the foam in between the leather and the lining. I will arrange it very well and sew it round. I will do same to this one also. So now I'm going to sew it now. As I sew, I arrange. As I sew, I arrange. What I did to this is what I'll do to the second one. So I'm trying to cut off the excess foam and lining. So this is what I have now. The next thing I'm going to do now is to use my piping cord to pipe it round. So after piping it round, this is what I have. So I'm going to keep this aside. We are going to work on the main body. So this is my main body, my leather and my lining. I have cloth lining, and also I have tarpaulin lining. So the measurement I'm using is 9.5 inches by 32 inches. So what I did is that at this point I took 7.5 inches. I measured 7.5 inches here. Then by the side I took 1.5 inches. By here I took 1.5 inches. Then I connected the 1.5 inches line to the 7.5 inches. I will connect this side also. So I'm trying to bold the line so that you will see it very well. So after connecting it, we need to shape it at this point. So what I used to shape it at this point is I measured here 1 inch. I measured here 1 inch also. Here I measure 1 inch. Here I measure 1 inch. So I shape it with 1 inch by 1 inch. Then I connected to 2 points with a curved line. You can shape it the way you want, but me, I use 1 by 1 to shape mine. So now I'm going to cut it off. You can decide to use 1.5 to shape yours, or half by half to shape it, but this particular video I'm making, I use 1 by 1 to shape it. So after cutting it to this place, I folded it this way to be sure that my curving is correct. So I'm trying to blend everything. I want the 2 points to be the same. So I will continue my cutting now. You have to be careful when you are cutting it out. So now I've cut it out. This is what I have now. Now I'm going to mark my lines for the design that I'm going to put on the body. So first here I'm going to mark a straight line here. Then by the side, from that straight line I just mark, I'm taking 1.5 inches. I'll just be marking 1.5 inches till the end of my leather. 1.5 inches till the end of my leather. So what I did on this part is what I'm going to do on this part also. I will mark it at that part. While at this part, the first marking I'm taking is 2 inches. After 2 inches, I mark 1 3/4, 1 3/4, 1 3/4. Then the last one also is 2 inches. So what I mark at this point, I will mark it at the down part of my leather also. Then I will connect all the lines together. So this is me now trying to mark on this side also. I want to show you what it will look like after marking it and connecting it before I continue the rest. So this is me now trying to connect the lines together. So at this point, I'm taking 2 inches, 1 3/4 inches, 1 3/4, 1 3/4, 1 3/4, then 2 inches also. Then I'm going to connect it with these ones. Connect it together. So after connecting it together, this is what I have. You can see it. So what I did at this part, and I'm going to do it till the end of my leather. So this is the way it will look like. Just mark it to the end. I'll also mark on this side till the end of my leather. So this is what I have now. Now it's time to sew it. I'll put my lining. I'm trying to be sure that the size of the lining and the leather is accurate. Then I'm going to put my foam in between the lining and the leather. Why I use this lining is that I don't want my foam to be breaking. So I want something that will stabilize the work. So it's optional. So now I'll sew it round by the side and also this place. After that, I'll be sewing on the lines that I created. So this is me now sewing on the lines that I just created. You see the way I'm sewing it? You see what I'm doing? So this is what I will do till the end. After sewing it that way, I will also run the other line. You see the way I'm doing it? So this is how to create something like this. It's not only on lunch bag. You can also create it on your tote bags, on handbags. It looks fine on bags. So this is it now. So after sewing it, that's what I have. Now is the time to sew it together with my tarpaulin lining. So I will arrange it very well and sew it round. I don't know what is wrong with this video. So what I'm trying to do now is to sew it round on my tarpaulin lining. Sew it round. So now I'm going to work on the cover. I want to sew the handle. So what I'm doing now, I folded my cover into 2 equal parts and notch it on both sides. I also notch the middle of my handle. So I will place it notch point to notch point. Then I will arrange it very well and sew it. So I'll cut it off. I will also come to this side, put it notch point to notch point and sew. The measurement of this my handle is 3 inches by 7.5 inches. That's what I cut. So this is my handle, my pocket. Now I'm done with it. I've also sewn my tarpaulin lining to it. Now I want to pipe it round. What I did on this, I will also do it on my cover. So I'll use my piping cord and pipe this particular area round. So this is what I have after piping it, and this is my cover. So now I'm going to sew the zip cloth to it. You put the zip cloth right side of the zip cloth facing the piping cord, then I will sew it. So sew it very well. After sewing it, this is what I have. So now I want to fold it this way to get the midpoint. So make sure that your leather is equal, then you indicate the midpoint. At that point, I notch it. I also use chalk to indicate the midpoint. Now I'm separating the zip cloth to sew on the cover midpoint to midpoint. I will arrange it and sew it. After sewing it, I will tape it, both the cover and the main body. So this is it. I'm done taping it round. This is it. So now I'm going to fix my zip head. So when you're fixing your zip head, make sure that the notch points meet together. Like I use chalk to indicate the middle. I mark chalk on both the cover and the main body, so that is to enable me knowing when the notch midpoint meet together. So if your midpoint is not together, your cover will be bending, so make sure it's together every time. So this is it. You can see it, my midpoint meets together. Now fold it over this way and stitch it. But before I do that, I want to notch the midpoint. You just fold it into two this way to get the midpoint. You notch it. You also fold the cover. Make sure it's equal. Arrange it very well and notch the midpoint. So now I will fold it over this way, arrange it midpoint to midpoint. I will sew it. After sewing it, I will tape it at once. So I'm trying to apply oil because this part will be strong. So now I'm sewing it. I'm done sewing it. So now we want to notch the middle. So I'm going to get the middle of this my handle, the middle of my handle. From there, I'm going to measure to this point. I joined it. I got 3.25 inches. So I'm going to measure it on this particular side. I've already notched mine, but I want to show you how I did it. So I notched it. So I will still come to this side also. From the middle of my handle, the middle of the handle, I will measure it. I got 3.25 inches. So I will also mark it here and notch the point. I've already notched mine. So now I'm going to fold it from that particular notch point. Now this notch point, I'll fold it over this way so that I can be able to get the down midpoint. I've already notched mine. So what I did there, I'm going to do it on the other side. So this is the time to sew the side. So I've notched all the up and down. So this side I have adjuster will be at this point. You put it notch point to notch point. You clip it down. So I will also come to this down side and also put it notch point to notch point. I will clip it down. Like I always do, I will try to check it to be sure that everything corresponds before I sew. So that if it's not equal, I'll make my adjustments before I sew. So after arranging it, everything is okay. From the way I'm seeing it, everything is okay. Now I'm going to sew it round. I will also do same on this side and I will tape at once. So this is it. After sewing it and taping it at once, so now I'm going to turn it to the right side. So if you have watched it this extent and you have not followed my Facebook page or you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so to support me. Thank you for always coming back, returning back to my channel and my page. God bless you all for always stopping by. And if today is your first time of coming across my page or my YouTube channel, please don't forget to subscribe or follow my page. Thank you very well. So this is our lunch bag now. This is what it look like. Can you see it? Very beautiful. Very beautiful. I'm trying to push out all the corners. So let me zip it so that we see what it look like. This lunch bag is very as in the foam is very strong. Very strong. You can give it a trial. You can see how it is, that design on the body. It came out very well. So now I'm trying to sew the handle. You just put your adjuster and finish the sewing of the handle. If you don't know how to put the adjuster, you can watch this part very well to see how I put it and do yours. So after putting it, passing my strap this way, the next thing I'm going to do is to arrange it very well and stitch on it, and our bag will be ready. Thank you for watching and God bless you all.